Yeah, I mean, like I've no problem with, disclosing to anybody that like I have gone to therapy, for anxiety. And it is definitely, I mean, in my case, when I'm being creative and sharing my interests with people, my anxiety is down considerably. And so that is something that has been, discussed in therapy, before. And you know, I think everyone is creative in a way, and I think it's just important to be doing something you're passionate about, because then I think like everything else in life makes sense.
So, without further ado, Ailsha Davey, guys, give her a nice warm welcome in the chat there. And Ailsha, how are you keeping?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Second show back, 2021. You just got to keep going. You just can't stop.
You do.
And I'm just delighted that you've accepted to come on to the show. And as I was saying there in the intro, it feels like I'm just looping back around and catching up with everybody again, which is really nice to see how everyone's been doing, I guess, in probably what's been the most messed up sort of year we've ever had to experience. How are you keeping?
Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I suppose like this stage of lockdown is tough for everybody, but how are you finding it?
Grand. To be honest, the first couple of weeks were a bit rough,
Yeah.
So we had the New Year's Eve live stream, which almost didn't happen because it was like 26th of December was the level 5, I believe, was announced, right? But we went ahead. Apparently now, this is something for all the musicians out there. You're allowed to live stream because it's even in level 5, because it's under it's on the .gov website saying broadcasting is allowed. So luckily we were able to proceed.
Wow.
But you know yourself, when you do a big gig, it's kind of the come down afterwards, isn't it?
Oh, it's so depressing. My last gig, I cried for a couple of days, and I was like, why am I so moody? But it's just the adrenaline rush that you have, and like you feel that it's all the build up to it. Like you're so excited, and then just
Now I didn't cry. But, well, I won't admit that I cried, okay? I'll go that far, all right? I won't admit in front of my
That's
viewers,
fair.
okay? But, no, absolutely. And when was the last gig for you, actually? When was sort of the last physical gig?
The last physical one was the one I did in the Workman's Club in August. So it was a social distance gig, and James Lonergan supported me. I headlined. It was like my first headline gig,
Nice.
and XO Promotions.
Alexi, yeah.
So it was awesome. It was great. But it was just like, I kind of knew that it was going to probably be my last gig for a while. So it just felt really emotional before and after. So yeah, but it was nice. Like the intimacy of the gig was really, really special.
Yeah, I heard great things about that gig, actually, and I spoke to Alexi before and after it, and because I had to wish him the best, because he was pioneering stuff, I mean, he's just doing stuff.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he does so much.
Yeah, he really does. Like he actually, I love that. I love people that are like multitaskers. I find them so interesting. I find myself in that sort of category. You're kind of like that too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I mean, like, I don't know if you're into like any form of like astrology stuff, but I have a Gemini moon. So I'm kind of like, split in two with like what I want to do all the time. So, like 1 second it's astrophysics, and the next thing it's like being a video games composer, and it's just always changing.
No, I know the feeling. And my mom's a Gemini, so I have a Gemini close to me. So I totally see that. Sorry, Ma, if you're listening. We're throwing you in the mix there. But that's interesting.
They're fun.
Yeah, no, so astrology and astrophysics, is that... So tell us a little bit about this astrophysics, because I wanted to do astrophysics. It was one of my... sort of fascinations in physics, right? And you have a guest there. So
Sorry, this is Ian.
Ian.
He's just crashing the party.
How could you name a cat such a basic name? No offense, but like...
Yeah, it was because, it's like, I'll condense the story for you, but basically I adopted two rescue cats called Chicken and Nugget. a long time ago, and Chicken unfortunately passed away, and Nugget was really sad. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get another rescue cat that hopefully she'll think is Chicken. And I just couldn't call it. I wanted to call him something completely different. So Ian was what
Ian, it is. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
so
there you
so
go.
tell us a little bit about the astrophysics anyway. Let's delve into this. Should we delve into this?
Sure. Yeah,
Just for the
why
crack.
not? So growing up, I was fascinated with asteroids. You know, like I was always Googling asteroids and, you know, like doomsday scenarios and stuff like that. And I just really, really wanted the opportunity to study them and to learn more about them. But I had dyscalculus. So I had to do foundation maths for my leaving cert. I knew I wouldn't be able to actually do the real astrophysics thing in college. So while music was like, you know, what I wanted to do, I just wanted to also be able to do something so I could learn about asteroids. So I got into UCD to study music, but I took like a module in astrophysics, thinking that, you know, if I was somehow able to pass it, that maybe I could like, you know, split my major somehow so I could still learn a lot of modules about astrophysics. But sadly, I failed the module because I have dyscalculus. So that was the end of that story. But I mean, I love learning about space, you know, and like, you know, late at night before I go to sleep, I'm there like Googling like, you know, universes and stuff.
What is happening out there, and it's a place that we don't look at enough, I find. And even myself, like I'll catch myself going out to the back garden and checking out the full moon we had, for example, last night or the night before. It was a Thursday night. And then I'd notice, I'd be like, oh wow, there's actually a lot more than the moon going on here right now. Like there's loads of stars, and it's just it's overwhelming almost when you look at it for long enough, right? And then when you start seeing shooting stars and stuff, you start freaking out. Well, I do anyway. I'm just like, oh shit.
I freak out about shooting stars because I always think it's an asteroid. But I mean, it could be, but you know, nothing, you know, that poses hazard to us. But it's you can get really in your head about how scary space is.
100%.
It's also the most interesting thing ever.
Yeah. It was like TV for cavemen back then. You know, that's what they looked at. You know, that's their entertainment. So it's a shame we're stuck to screens and we don't see it as, and plus light pollution and whatnot. It's interesting. No, it definitely fascinates me because I've had that sort of, well, for me, it was a paranoia actually, where I was afraid that we would get hit by an asteroid. And I'd be even loud planes and stuff coming over my gaff. Sometimes it got pretty bad actually at some stage.
I had the exact same thing because I grew up in the countryside. So every time an airplane went over, it was really noisy. And I'd be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Apparently there are no known actual like hazardous asteroids heading our way for a very long time. So,
Grand.
I mean,
well, I'll just trust that because there's no point, freaking out or getting like a body shock when you hear a plane, and it's just too much on the emotions, and we're already getting yanked in so many different ways.
Yeah, exactly. We're just bored.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Like, I haven't kept up to date too much now with recent sort of space stuff, but I definitely like the idea of, you know, the parallel universe ideas and the multiverse and things like that. You know, they fascinate me because it's all really kind of linked, isn't it? It's something so massive, but and you look at it on a small level as well. Like, you know, for example, I love how we're just getting into this just conversation, but like, Fecca, you know, because we already got to know you last time, right? So this is just a catch up. But I should just put a stamp here. It's just like, it's a catch up here, guys, by the way. Don't get your hopes up. We might be talking on one thing.
We're talking about space.
Yeah, let's talk about space for the whole thing. That, you know, for example, atoms are the same basically behavior as like our solar system goes around our sun, as atoms will go around electrons and protons will go around what do you call it? Electrode or whatever, electron. Guys, so sorry for butchering the astrophysics. But I studied physics and I failed it, you know, with gusto.
No way.
Yeah, I studied it. Yeah. I did honors.
Cool.
I was meant to drop to pass, But then I got the test right there in secondary school. Right, someone was sitting beside me and got honours, and and he was looking through the pages, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Oh, I know that diagram. Feck it, let's do honours." And I was about to tell him like, "No, pass," and I did honours, and it was just a terrible decision. I failed it.
Failed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's devastating. I'm sorry.
I know, it's grand,
but it's never too late.
Yeah.
To try it again.
Thanks.
Well, maybe leaving surf, but you know.
YouTube is great. They have videos. You don't have to do the maths. It's like you just watch compilation videos of like the top 10 biggest stars, or what's the biggest thing in our universe. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the biggest object?
It kind of cuts to the point on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Straight to the point. No messing about.
No maths involved.
No maths. No, I love that stuff. Yeah. So outside of astrophysics, and let's. I'm curious if we'll get in depth into all these other topics. What kind of projects have you been up to lately? I did delve into some of your cinematic stuff, and I just uncovered that on SoundCloud today.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting stuff. Are you getting back into the cinematic stuff?
So. I'm doing a couple of things at the moment. So I'm still kind of building together a cinematic portfolio of just video game kind of style music, film, TV kind of stuff. So yeah, just building that up. But as well, I'm working in with my partner, who's my producer. So we're working in the studio and we're recording some songs.
Awesome.
So that's exciting. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Your partner's is it Luke?
Luke. Luke Nelson.
Did he perform? He performed with you at the Halloween gig, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
Amazing.
He also performed with me at the Workman's gig as well. So that was great. He's been a great support through all of, the madness of the world and stuff. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm very lucky.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. It's interesting to speak to people like that are in a project with their partner. Like, how is that for you? I'm always kind of curious. What is it like to sort of date someone that you do music with? Is it better? Is it more enhanced, the experience?
It's really fun. In all honesty, I never thought I'd be able to do that, but he's very patient, and he knows his stuff. So it's good. Like, I'm very grateful. And it's all an adventure, really. So.
And he has his own project, and then you have your own project, and then you kind of, so he helps you with your project, right? And do you help him with his project as well?
We haven't delved into doing that just yet, but I hope I can help him with his stuff.
Awesome.
But yeah, he's pretty much he's producing, the tracks. So like, I've brought him, my kind of ideas and stuff, and we just work together and try and bring them to life. But he's really got a knack for, breathing life into the ideas I have, which is fantastic. That's all I could ask for. So we're really excited about the stuff we're working on at the moment.
That's great. I'm looking forward to hearing what you release. And is it a multitude of songs, or are you releasing singles, or how are you going to compile it?
We haven't quite decided yet. We're definitely going to release a single, whether it's to be a part of an EP or just, continue releasing singles for the time being. We're not sure. But yeah, I suppose we'll decide as we go along, really. What's the right thing to do, or what we think is the right thing to do. I
guess it's like let it happen naturally, right? There's no point overthinking it, especially in this climate. You're not going to be playing a gig like straight away. You know what I mean? So it's a different sort of nature, a different sort of approach. Your music, like, so far I'm only introduced to, unfortunately, so I'm really looking forward to the music you're releasing. And I like your lyrics, your style. Do you know what I mean? I find it interesting. It's different for me, like from all the music that I'm exposed to. It's quite different. So it's always interesting to sort of speak to you and maybe get to know about sort of the themes that you cover, because we've heard some of your tunes, and we enjoy them. But I seen that with your cinematic. You're delving into sort of dark kind of places a little bit, but you're approaching it in sort of a humorous, kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, you know, sort of way, which I really like that, you know what I mean? It's sort of, it's quite lighthearted. So tell us a little bit about, well, is Halloween your favourite holiday, first of all?
Can't you tell I have cobwebs on the back?
Okay, I couldn't see that. I thought that was a mandala. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, Halloween, probably. Yeah, no, it is. It is. Though I do love St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, being Irish, you have to, yeah.
Love it. But yeah, Halloween, like anything spooky, like everything spooky really inspires me. And you know, like throughout the year, I collect like little spooky kind of things, like clutter just to have that builds up. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm obsessed. But in my cinematic style and my songwriting style, like I do try and incorporate, you know, a little bit of spook into them. So in the track that I released it in October, Ghosted, like, I mean, that was all kind of like a satire about being ghosted, but like spooky style. So, you know, like organs and just, you know, screams and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was a great juxtaposition of those both meanings, isn't it? The modern sort of, it is modern, I guess, if the phrase ghosted, it's something that's I've only recently uncovered in the last year, I suppose, to be ghosted.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, you're kind of linking that up together then with something that's natural to you. It's great. Have you always been kind of into sort of the darker sort of witch kind of, what do you call that, sort of occultish vibey sort of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like since I was a toddler, I think I was really into, you know, anything fantasy. Like as I got older, like all through my teens, you know, I was a bit of an emo scene kid. So, you know, I listened to a lot of heavy metal, symphonic metal and stuff. And then, like, I don't know, somewhere in my early 20s, I was like, I'm just going to be a goth and like write what I want to write and do like spooky stuff. So
yeah, stick to your guns. Yeah. Oh, no, it's great. It's just interesting, you know, how we kind of latch on to a sort of theme within ourselves as people, right? And then put it out. You know, then the creative process happens in our brains, and then we project it outwards. You know, and it's interesting. It's great that you have that identity. Do you know? I think that's a good thing to have, especially as an artist, right? Because it's like when I think Ailsha, I have things to kind of coincide with you. It's very easy, and from a personable level, I suppose. So then we get to know you a lot easier, and also like in a marketing sort of perspective, you know, it's very, it's kind of clear what we're going to get in a way, but we're always open to be surprised as well, I suppose, in that kind of respect. Sorry, I might be sounding mono to some people actually. I heard I'm just going in through the left speaker, so sorry about that. I don't know what I was trying to fix that there.
Actually, I was wondering that because I was like, are my earphones broken? But no,
so that's me.
It's the same.
My God. Yeah, I'm seriously like, I don't have a producer in this house. I need a Luke. You know, I need a Luke. I need someone to sort out my fucking sound problems. Fucking Max on the Max Factor as well was like double sound. So jeez, you'd swear I've been doing this like whatever so many months and then still having these issues. But however, no, it's all good. We'll resolve that for the next one, guys. So let me think. What else could I? Where else could we delve in? Tell me a little bit about the the cinematic stuff, right? So because that's something that I'm not too familiar with, and your dad's a composer, right? Tell us a little bit about sort of, is there inspiration there, and sort of how does that kind of affect your interest in cinema? That stuff. Yes, that
stuff. So I mean, like growing up, the dream was to always like, you know, be a pop star kind of thing. You know, when I was younger. But like I found it a lot easier just to sit down and write music, you know, like soundtrack kind of stuff. And obviously, you know, I used to watch how my dad would work in his studio, and I was fascinated by it. And I taught myself how to use the software and stuff and start recording my own kind of little demos and stuff when I was 11. And I just loved, you know, classical, like romantic classical music, and video game music was something I got into a little bit after that. And like if I'm feeling like obviously like the songs that I write are about things that happen to my life, you know, like the worst case scenarios, and I try to make them a little bit funny or whatever. But with the cinematic stuff, most of the pieces that you would hear, like, you know, in my portfolio on my SoundCloud, they're all how I was feeling about something, you know, at the time. So like a lot of them are very, very dark, and that's about, you know, kind of mental health kind of stuff, or, you know, it's all, I just find it a lot easier. I always have found it a lot easier to sit down and not worry about lyrics and just arrange something, you know, and make a demo out of it that's like full of emotion. And yeah, that's kind of, but like last year I did a course in Pulse and Griffith, and it was music production for video games. So that just kind of, that really inspired me to keep going with that as well as the artist thing, you know, so like to have two different kind of things going and just broaden my horizons with the music that I want to write and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're kind of touching on two different forms of expression, because it is difficult to express some stuff into words. You know, I find it difficult as a, you know, person that loves music, and you know, I don't see myself as a great, just looking at myself, let's say, this is nothing really to do with yourself, sorry, but you know, as a lyricist, it's difficult. But for me, I know when I'm hearing tones and things like that, it resonates with that emotion within me. It can, you know, more so.
Yes.
And I could be lost for words a lot of the time. So I totally get that. And also when there is something problematic happening, let's say within my own life, I would prefer to try and go sort of the more humorous route and sort of go, sure, fuck it, you know, sure, feck it, you know, like that kind of thing, like, or just poke a bit of fun at it. So I totally get that. And I think it's great that it's probably very healthy to deal with it that way, you know?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And like, especially because I started putting my cinematic stuff as like IGTV videos on Instagram, just to, you know, drop them on the Insta. And like, I was having a really kind of difficult time at the start of this lockdown, just with anxiety and stuff like that. And like going through these pieces of music I'd written and stuff, and, you know, rearranging them and remixing them really kind of helped, you know, with all that stuff. So I don't know. I think it's a great, I'm very grateful to have that passion.
Yeah, it is. It's great because I heard somewhere where it's, I don't know who said it, but maybe it's one of those common, like Lao Tzu or whatever, or what, old man, whatever that. We don't know who it actually was, but that when we don't create, we destroy. You know, so if we can't create something or whatever, we end up destroying either ourselves, whether it's with like self-loathing or being stuck in ourselves too much, you know, and in that kind of way, it stuff bottles up and however. So to have that creative expression and to have even one outlet, you know, and I think that's something that, I don't know, I know we're delving into like the mental health aspect, and I don't know how, because I've never, you know, maybe I should, you know, to be honest, you know, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have my own mental health issues and things like that, you know, but I've never kind of consulted somebody, you know, about it. I guess I've just been a little bit, you know, afraid to kind of do that. You know what I mean? It's not something that I feel to do. But I wonder, is that something that they delve into? It's like, you know, delve into your creativity, you know, because I feel like that could be an amazing outlet. Is that the case? Sort of, is that?
Yeah, I mean, like I've no problem with, you know, disclosing to anybody that like I have gone to therapy, you know, for anxiety. And it is definitely, I mean, in my case, when I'm being creative and sharing my interests with people, you know, my anxiety is down considerably. And so that is something that has been, you know, discussed in therapy, you know, before. And I think, you know, I think everyone is creative in a way, you know, and I think it's just important to be doing something you're passionate about, because then I think like everything else in life makes sense, you know. But, you know, it's very difficult for a lot of people to be able to follow their passions, because a lot of people aren't in a position to be able to, especially at the moment. You know, so it's hard, it's tough. But yeah, I don't know. I think definitely, like, you know, there's like a lot of helplines that are great to reach out to. Like when I was in my late teens, I used to text Samaritans if I ever needed someone to talk to, and they were brilliant. So for people watching, like,
absolutely,
don't be afraid to text one of the helplines. Like there's so many, like Pieta House and Alone and Aware and everyone. So and Aware actually are doing free online like self-help kind of courses.
Brilliant.
So, there's one specifically for like the COVID crisis and how to deal with, stress management of like uncertainty and everything. So yeah,
that's great.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, fair play to you. No, this is great, because this is something that's extremely important and can be omitted in conversation, right? Especially in these types of interview scenarios as well. And obviously, in the creative industry, which we're in, there's a lot of people suffering. I mean, it goes across the board, but people that have been used to, a certain style of living, let's say, as in gigging, as in going out and listening to music, because this is most of the people that will be tuning in would be interested in some form of music, right? So it's really hitting a lot on the mental health. And I totally see why, this lockdown, go figure, we've just been back and forth, is obviously hitting people a lot harder. I definitely didn't expect it. Definitely. It comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Like I mean, the feeling, of being just like, whatever, just. I
think it's the feeling of being, stagnant, and this kind of limbo. It's very, very difficult on everybody, but I don't know. Hopefully, a year from now, things will be a bit better.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, look,
we're all in this together.
100%. No, it's great, and it's good we threw out a few names out there as well for people to check out if they're feeling down or feel like they need somebody to talk to. So I will link that into the description after this video as well, just because we, this is something really important. It is our last weekend of January as well, Ailsha, which is kind of like, as well kind of momentous, because January is really the most depressing month. So we're kind of coming out of it. We're seeing a bit of the light, We've been through what feels like really the worst as well, just to bring up the energy and bring up a bit of positivity here. We have seen a lot of the worst. The winter months, as they stand, are quite rough in Ireland. My goodness.
Exactly.
So fair play to us for coming this far through the hardest time of the year as it stands. No, it's great. So tell us quickly before. So first of all, I wanted to congratulate you as well. What kind of wanted me to get you back on board as well is because I seen the post from Hot Press. You got the Hot for 2021, which is amazing. So fair play to you.
Thank you.
That's some great motivation, isn't it? Like to get you kind of going again. Did that kind of spur on a little bit of creativity in you?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Totally it did. Yeah. I mean, I was not expecting that at all. Very grateful. It just made me really excited and, made me want to get up out of bed and get into the studio and just start recording. Very, very grateful. It was awesome.
Awesome. No, that's great. That's really cool. So, all right. So I guess I'll let you go. Yeah. Is there anything you want to close off with? Is there anything that I might have forgotten? We're going to play your song. We're going to play Ghosted.
Cool. Yeah.
Or are you thinking of any music videos actually or anything like that? I know it's hard to do them now, but like, I can imagine some great music videos for Ghosted.
Yeah, a part of me kind of wishes that I had released a video for Ghosted, but I think I would like to release a video for the next single. I have a few ideas. Obviously, restrictions kind of have to comply with those, so we'll see what happens, but it's definitely something I'm actively thinking about.
Brilliant. So. I guess it's hard when the song's already released a little bit, but it feels kind of timeless. Do you know what I mean? Like Ghosted is kind of one of those that you could play every Halloween. Do you know what I mean? In that kind of way, like a Christmas song.
Yeah, we could just do a video next Halloween.
Yeah, exactly, and just re-release it. Like, oh, hey, but this is my Halloween song. Nobody noticed. Didn't count because it was locked down.
Totally. Yeah, who knows? Like, I think, that's something I'd consider.
Brilliant. Okay, awesome. Is there anything else you want to close off with? I know we've got like even promotion and stuff. But actually, before I let you, I just want to say as well, like, just thanks so much for taking the time and chatting with me on a Saturday evening. I know you could be out gallivanting around the city.
Going for a walk.
Yeah, go for your little 5 km. But thanks so much. Great to catch up with you. Great to delve into some just different topics than last time. So, and I just want to thank you as well, just while I have you, like, as well, for just coming back, like, as in generally, like, for the Damara stuff I'm doing, like the Halloween. I know we didn't get a chance to chat properly there, but like, thanks for that one. And I'm just looking forward to doing more like events, and maybe we'll actually do some physical events as well down the line. So
that'd be great.
Thanks so much for that.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And it's nice to catch up.
Absolutely. Great. So we're going to play Ghosted. Ailsha, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks. Yeah, see you soon.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, that was Ailsha Davey. I'm just going to whack up the song Ghosted, which was released at Halloween time. Look at me. I'm trying to type it into... I can't type... I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that's our last guest, by the way. So thanks for hanging on, guys. Do slap a like on the video. If you hadn't already, slap that like, please. It's going to help all the artists that came onto the show today. It's going to help everybody that took part in this stream. So do help us by doing that. That'd be awesome. And do slap at the owl bleeding subscribe. You might as well, guys. You know what? You might be bored one Saturday and want to connect with us. So do hit the subscribe button. And we're here every Saturday, 6 p.m. We're going to have some amazing artists all the time, every week. Lovely chats. We'll just chat about random stuff if we need to, and always new music as well. So I'm going to leave you with Ghosted. Hang on, we've still got a couple of more skits to go through, and we're also going to be doing our Warzone gaming. So join us. We're going to do a little bit of gaming. Why not? Saturday night. What else are we going to be doing? So do tune in. We've got 4 people joining us. We've got Keito, who's in the chat, who is Dublin's finest sound engineer. He's going to be joining us. We've got Josho, who's a great guitarist, and close friend of mine. And then we got Brendan, who I hope he bleeding installed it properly there, and I'm going to give out to him now in a sec, who's living with me here, obviously. But he is the bassist in the Bowie band, if you don't know. So it's all musicians playing games, basically. Musicians playing games. That's it. That's the name of the new segment. Coming to you tonight, back every week. So anyway, Ghosted by Ailsha Davey.
Since the day you left without a trace, I'm not surprised you weren't brave enough to end things with me face to face. I talk about you like it's your eulogy, remembering how things used to be, but now it's all a mystery. Was it something I said? What left you keep making over